Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. We are looking at the exact point where education, smart business, and artificial intelligence all crash together. Think about it. How does a massive global platform take a brand new, complex technology and actually turn it into tangible, everyday value for its clients? Well, we're going to explore exactly how Duolingo is leveraging advanced AI to completely rethink the way we all learn languages. Okay, let's dive into this. 50 million. That is the sheer number of learners who rely on Duolingo every single month. I mean, from a business perspective, that scale is just absolutely staggering. You've got this huge captive audience going from simple, vocabulary matching all the way up to complex sentence building entirely on their phones. To put that into perspective, that's roughly the entire population of South Korea, all pulling out their phones to learn a language at the exact same time. But with an audience that incredibly massive comes a major challenge for the business. How do you keep them engaged? How do you make sure that as a client gets better and better, your platform is still giving them real, undeniable value? To figure out the business solution, we really need to understand the client's core problem first. Ask yourself, why is true language proficiency so incredibly hard to achieve? I mean, you can memorize flashcards until you're blue in the face, but true proficiency, that requires actual, unscripted conversation. Ideally, you need a native speaker to practice with. But realistically, finding a native speaker, scheduling the time, and let's be honest, feeling brave enough to make silly mistakes in front of them, that is a luxury very few people have. This is a universal struggle for the user, and therefore it is the absolute core hurdle the business has to solve. Now, what's really interesting here is that our brains essentially learn in two distinct ways. On one hand, we have implicit learning. This is your natural immersion, right? Repeated practice, actually using the words out in the wild. On the other hand, you've got explicit learning, which is sitting down and memorizing the strict rules of grammar. Now, clients absolutely need both of these to succeed. But here's the catch. While an app can easily teach you those explicit rules through text on a screen, providing that messy, immersive, implicit practice to 50 million people at the exact same time, that's historically been nearly impossible. So this creates a pretty obvious gap. The missing link in the user's journey, and honestly, the primary challenge for the business, was really twofold. First, they desperately needed scalable conversation practice. You obviously can't just go out and hire 50 million human tutors, right? Second, they needed contextual feedback on mistakes. They needed a way to explain exactly why a user got a specific phrase wrong in that exact moment. Bridging this gap, that is the secret sauce that turns a casual, free-tier user into a dedicated, long-term client. To fill this massive gap, Duolingo turned to advanced AI. But, and this is crucial, they didn't just want to slap some clunky, robotic chatbot onto the side of their app and call it a day. As Edwin Bodge, a principal product manager there, explains, the whole goal was seamless integration. They needed these AI features to lean heavily into the gamified, fun, totally approachable vibe that their clients already know and love. Because think about it, if the solution feels like a dry, boring textbook, the client just closes the app. But if it feels like a fun game, the client stays. You know how in the past, language apps would try to simulate a conversation using these super rigid, scripted scenarios? You'd practice ordering food or buying a train ticket just by picking from a multiple choice list. It was helpful, sure, but it wasn't real life. Well, thanks to advanced AI, the platform has completely evolved. We are finally moving away from those rigid scripts to completely immersive, free-flowing chats. Imagine casually chatting with an AI in French about your favorite basketball team, or trying to describe a hiking trip. It's totally flexible, it's personal, and it keeps clients so incredibly engaged because they're finally talking about stuff they actually care about. This shift led to the creation of two major client-focused features that directly attack that proficiency problem. First up is role play. This essentially acts as your flexible conversational AI partner, giving you that crucial, messy, real-world practice we talked about earlier. And the second feature is Explain My Answer. This provides detailed, incredibly personalized breakdowns whenever you make a grammar mistake. So if you fumble a sentence, the AI steps in, just like a private tutor, sitting right next to you to explain exactly why it was wrong. But let's pause for a second, because there is a massive business risk here. If an AI tries to step in and teach you grammar, but it actually gets the rule wrong, oh man, it leaves the user totally confused, completely frustrated, and trust is instantly broken. Lead engineer Bill Peterson points out that utilizing state-of-the-art models like GPT-4 gives their engineering team the absolute confidence they need to pull this off. They aren't just generating text that sounds good,
They are generating highly accurate, reliable educational feedback. For the client, that means they're getting guidance they can actually trust.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we like to call the dynamic learner loop. Let's walk through it because it happens completely in real time. Say the user makes a mistake and clicks for an explanation. The AI gives an initial helpful response. But, and this is the cool part, if the client is still a little lost, they can just ask for more help, and the AI dynamically adjusts its teaching style. It essentially gauges exactly how deep the client wants to go into a concept before sending them back to the lesson. It's a completely bespoke, customized learning experience that scales instantly to millions of people. Incredible, right?
All right, so let's shift gears and look at the business side of things, specifically how this builds an entirely new revenue stream. All of this incredible client-added value, the custom role play, that dynamic tutor feedback, it's all packaged together into a brand new premium subscription tier called Duolingo Max. This is literally a textbook example of how a business can take cutting-edge technology and translate it into a tangible, revenue-generating product. By genuinely solving the hardest part of learning a language, they've created a premium service that users are actually excited to pay for. But, the value definitely doesn't stop with the client. It has completely transformed the internal operations of the business as well. As Bill Peterson notes, integrating this level of AI has permanently changed their engineering process internally. And this is a huge, often hidden benefit. Not only are you delivering a far superior product to your customers, but your internal teams are suddenly operating at an entirely different, vastly superior speed. Just imagine this. The engineering workflow has dramatically accelerated. Because the AI is so incredibly capable, these engineers can now spin up a working prototype in a single day. The AI basically gets a new feature from 0 to 95% complete almost instantly. Then, the human engineers get to spend their really valuable time just manually hand-tuning the data to perfect that final, crucial 5%. For a business, this is a total game changer. It means you can test, refine, and release new features faster than ever before, drastically cutting down R&D time and getting that value straight into the client's hands. So we've seen how seamlessly integrating AI solves a massive user problem, how it opens up brand new revenue streams, and how it completely supercharges internal business operations. By zeroing in on exactly what the client actually needs, which is scalable conversation and personalized feedback, they've elevated the entire learning journey. But I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to take away from our explainer today. If AI can step up as a customized, highly accurate tutor that literally masters teaching us complex human languages, what else can it help us master?